What's up guys, my name is Julian. I'm a full-time photographer and videographer living in Connecticut, just 45 minutes outside of New York City. Today I'm going to share with you 3 simple adjustments that you can make to every single one of your pictures that you may not know about. So first and foremost, you gotta shoot in RAW. There's a million reasons why you want to shoot in RAW. There's so much more information. You probably know that already, so let's just dive in. So here I am in the Develop module of LightRoom. And the first adjustment I'm sharing with you today is sharpening. If you don't have these menus here, all you have to do is go up to the help, type in detail, and you'll find all the panels right there. For years, I never sharpened an image. I didn't know you were supposed to. I didn't know you could. I didn't know you had to. But the truth of the matter is, raw files coming out of your camera are meant to be sharpened. Not over sharpened, just sharpened. If you hold Option as you click on your sharpening, it turns it black and white. The idea is that if something's black and white, you can see what's being sharpened better. So let's zoom in and see what happens. So let's look at something that's really sharp. So let's look at like this area right here. So I'm going to hold Option and I'm going to start moving this sharpening slider up a lot. Now already 59 there, that looks like a lot. So one of the biggest things you want to keep into consideration is not to over sharpen, because that doesn't look good. So you can really hurt and over sharpen an image, and that's a no-no. So let's bring this back down. Don't even look at these numbers off to the right. Let's look at the image. And I'm holding Option down and things are getting sharp, and that's nice. And know that you're zoomed in, because we don't look at pictures zoomed in. We look at pictures the way they were taken. So let's keep this at 46 because it's looking good. But let's zoom back in and do this thing called masking. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in this picture. This stuff we want sharp, but this stuff out here, this stuff doesn't need to be sharp. This is just noise in a good way. It's grain, it's blended, it's bokeh. We don't need this stuff to be sharp. And that's exactly what masking does. So let's hold down Option and click masking. You can see the screen has gone white. Once we move it up, wow, you can really see. So what these lines and what this imagery you're looking at represents is this white stuff is what is being sharpened, and the black stuff is not being sharpened. So again, we don't need this big lens flare or this way out of focus area to be sharpened, because that's just going to sharpen grain and create more noise. So let's bring it up to about here. And as you can see, the things that are meant to be sharpened are sharpened. The second adjustment I make is the lens correction. I love doing lens correction. I'm going to tell you why. So first and foremost, I click these two, and right away you can see adjustments are being made. You want to make sure that the lens profile is correct. So in this case, I shot this on a Sigma 50 1.4 art lens, and Adobe's figured that out. So everything's good. It's a Sigma, it's the right lens, and here's the profile. Sometimes it doesn't pick the right lens. So you want to come in here and manually and go, okay, I shot on a Canon, I shot on a 50 1.2 or whatever. If you're shooting on a vintage lens with adapters, your lens may not be in here. And that's okay. Don't get bummed out. Don't get discouraged because you shoot on vintage lenses and you can't do this. Actually, you can do this. After you see how this works, you can actually do it manually for your vintage lenses. So, 3 things that this is doing. First, you're going to click both of these, remove chromatic aberration, enable profile correction. The first thing it's doing is it's correcting for distortion. The second thing it's doing is correcting for vignetting. I personally, for 90% of my creative work, love the vignette, so I always take it down. So you can see here, you actually can't even see here because this Sigma lens has very little distortion, which is a rarity. So 99 out of 100 lenses, when you enable and disengage this profile correction, you're going to see a distortion correction. This lens just doesn't have much distortion. So you can do whatever you want. You can play somewhere in here with the vignette. I personally like it. I'm going to pull it all the way down. The third thing that this panel does is remove chromatic aberration. So right off the bat, I'm going to zoom into here because I can see some purple right here, and that is totally chromatic aberration. That's this super harsh light pushing into this contrasty area. And this click right here actually doesn't take care of it automatically. What you need to do is come in here to this defringe where one side is purple and one side is gray, and kind of click down it. And right off the bat, it just went away. If I come all the way out, it is pretty much gone. So you can see that it's kind of desaturating this purple fringe, and it's doing a good job. It's not there anymore. So that's lens corrections, and finally, the camera calibration. This is cool. This was hidden from me for 5 years of my first years of photography, and I hope I'm helping somebody out right now by showing them this panel. So I'm pretty sure most of the time your camera and your Adobe will default you to this Adobe standard profile, and that's okay. There's actually a lot of dynamic range in this profile, but check these other guys out. So depending on what camera you're using, I'm using a Canon 1DX Mark II for this shot, and I personally love camera neutral. It looked like a small adjustment, which it was. This is a very low contrast shot because of this flare, obviously, but what it's actually doing is a big deal. I can kind of come through here and you can see all the differences. Even that red is changing. Look at that there. So play with these on your camera. Landscape's got a lot of vibrancy and saturation, but the reason why I like camera neutral for Canon is because I believe that's the most gorgeous Canon colors. That's the reason why a lot of people shoot on Canon, is for the colors. And if your Lightroom adjustments are going here to Adobe standard, you're using these Canon colors, but Adobe's changing them. So bringing them back to camera neutral is really taking advantage of the camera color. Just for a little entertainment, I'll finally come here and just do a little bit of adjusting, just so you guys can, you know, go, ooh, ah, that looks dope. And honestly, like, that's it. So I hope that this was awesome for you guys. Hope that didn't take too much of your time. Hope you guys love this video, and I'll see you next time. So guys, I can't thank you enough for watching this video. I can't thank you enough for the love and support that you showed me for the first and last video I just had made on the Crane 2 and 1DX Mark II. I can't believe the amount of exposure and feedback I got from that. So big thanks. Say what up to me here, say what up to me on Instagram, ask me as many questions as you want. I'll try to answer all of them, and I'll see you in the next video.